What's going on, guys? My name is Travis with UNR Fitness, filming for Muscle and Hustle class. So I wanted to just kind of give you guys some simple, easy exercises you can do at home. You can follow along with us just using body weight movements. My goal is to hopefully have you start now. That way when you do get back into the gym, things aren't so difficult. Also, we're just going to be covering the foundations of movement in here. So like I said, it's going to be body weight. It's going to be really, really easy. I want to break down these exercises, make sure that you guys are executing them appropriately and that we're able to get the most out of our movements. So for today, we're going to be covering just a really easy, basic lower body exercise or workout you guys can do at home. We're going to start with a nice little warm up, a couple different movements that I really like, just a general warm up, kind of get you guys moving, get you excited and thinking about exercise. And then we'll go ahead and transition into really two main movements today. We're going to be covering squat pattern, and then we'll also be going through some lunges and a couple variations of that. We'll put together a little bit of a workout, so follow along. If you need to pause the video, please do, or fast forward, whatever you need to do to get the most out of the video for yourself. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go ahead and start with a nice little warm up, starting with the calves. We'll work up to the hamstrings and then open up the hips a bit before we transition into some squat dynamics. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start nice and tall, feet underneath us about hip width apart. We're going to drop down into a nice push-up position. So we're long here, pushing back into the heels. We're going to start by bending one knee and driving into the opposite heel there. So we should get a deep calf stretch, mobilizing that ankle a little bit, big push out, and then alternate there. So it's going to be a switch. So let's go ahead and go back and forth on your own. We'll get about 10 or so each side. Make sure you're pausing at each, breathing through it, starting to check in with your body a little bit, think about some exercise. Perfect. So you got 10 or so. We'll go ahead and go back into that push-up position. Now we're going to keep our feet planted while we walk our hands back towards our feet. As we do this, we're going to drive those heels into the ground and then walk it out again. Nice and long. Walk those hands in, push into the heels, breathe out, and walk it back to push up. Let's go two more. So on your own, try not to let those hips rock side to side. All the way back out. And last one. Big stretch, breathing out, and walk it out. Back to push-up position. Now we're going to go ahead and drive back into the back heel, push forward, step left foot outside of left arm. From here, let's go ahead and rotate up. Big breath out. Back to center and switch. Right foot up. Big rotation with the right hand. Back to center and switch. So let's get about 3 of these on each side. Take your time. No rush. Good, and one more. Perfect. Step it back, and you can walk yourself all the way up tall. Perfect. So those are 3 movements you can kind of start with before you do lower body workout or upper body workout even. Kind of get yourself moving, getting some blood flowing, kind of getting your breath or your lungs working. Next thing we're going to go through, or kind of our first movement, that I want to take you through today is going to be a squat. Okay, so really fundamental exercise in and out of the gym. Today we're going to go through squatting technique. We'll go through a small tutorial through that, and then we're going to show you several variations that you could include both in your workout today and in future workouts that we'll be going through. Okay, so for our stance for our squatting, I want you to find a comfortable position. So maybe if you're familiar with squatting, you already know, you can go right into it. And maybe today is a good opportunity to play around with it, to try a couple different variations or different stances to see what feels the most comfortable to you. Okay. So I'm going to start with my feet about shoulder width. So if I find my shoulders and go straight down, there's my ankle should be. So you can have your toes straight forward, or you can have them slightly out, called a toe out. Whatever's most comfortable for you, but just make sure that if you have one foot out, that the other one is as close to that first one as possible, right? And you can kind of just settle into that, feel comfortable. We'll do a couple variations of squats, and you can start in this position and then change it, maybe try wider, maybe try a bigger toe out, go narrower, maybe go toes in, and kind of just see what feels most comfortable for you. Okay, so again, I'm going to go about shoulder width, straight down to my ankles. My toes are slightly out from there. So from here, I'll give you a side angle. We want to think about, before we even move, we're kind of thinking about starting from the ground up and kind of just going through a little bit of a checklist through our body, right? So we're going to start at the feet. Think about kind of grabbing the ground with your toes almost, so pushing your big toe into the ground, maybe even kind of creating some space on the inside of your foot here. Then from here, we're going to be thinking about kind of gently pushing my knees out a little bit, okay? So if this is kind of normal stance, I want to just drive them out, right? So this is just going to create some tension through the upper leg, kind of get my glutes working a bit, and just preparing myself to squat. Okay, from there, I'm thinking about kind of engaging my core, so things are just kind of tight. I'm not necessarily trying to suck in, but more so just creating some tension through the abdomen. And then also going up the chain, we're thinking about our shoulder blades. I'm not rounded forward, right? I want to be up with my chest. My shoulder blades are back. I'm kind of creating some tension between my shoulder blades back there, okay? And then lastly, my chin is just in a neutral position. Again, it's not out here. Nice and straight, looking up tall. So again, find your stance, go through your checklist. Feet, we're grabbing the ground. And then at the knees, we're pushing the knees out, core's engaged, my shoulders have some tension through it, and my neck is neutral, okay? So this is, again, just a really quick checklist. What we're gonna be doing from here is we're gonna start with some really slow tempoed squats, okay? This will give you an opportunity to slow things down, kind of really feel the movement and control that movement, okay? So we're gonna do a 5 count down as we squat. We're going to do a 2 count pause and a 5 count up. So I'll kind of demonstrate it for you. Again, I've got my stance. I've gone through my checklist. From here, initiating the movement, I'm going to push my hips back first. So this movement here, not here at my knees. Okay, so I want to get my butt behind me. And then as I go back, I'm thinking about driving my knees out. I'm keeping my back flat. Nice and square, little pause at the bottom, and then nice and controlled, keeping that same position as I return to center, okay? So we'll go through a front view. So we'll go hips back, driving knees out, keeping good tension, back is flat. Get to the bottom, doesn't have to be super low, just wherever you feel like you can go. And then driving up, nice and slow. Cool. So that's the tempo we're going to do. We're going to do a 5 count down, 2 count at the bottom, and then a 5 count up. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start. You can work with me. I'll go ahead and count it out, or if you want to go ahead and pause it and do it on your own, you can do that as well. Okay. We'll go side. All right, here we go. Going down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold for 1, 2, and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And we're going to go right back into it. Down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold for 1, 2, and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. We're going to do one more. And hips are back behind me. Then I bend at the knees, keeping my torso straight. Pausing at the bottom. Good. And drive up. Good. And rest. Perfect. Good. So we did 3 reps, 5 count down, 2 count pause, and a 5 count up. All right. Shake it out. This time I want you to go through it on your own at home. So set yourself up. Again, wherever you're comfortable to start. I'm going to go about shoulder width. My toes are out. Thinking about grabbing the ground with my feet. I'm rotating my knees out. My abs are tight. My shoulders are locked into place. And then I'm going to initiate the movement by pushing my butt back behind me. Bring my elbows up. Nice and tight. Pause for 1, 2, and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Going back down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 1, 2, and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it 2 more. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go one more. Through the hips, bend the knees. Good. Nice and slow. And pause for 1, 2, and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake it out. Good work, guys. So I really like starting slow like that. Gives you an opportunity to kind of really make sure that you're under control of the movement, that you're understanding the movement, that you're able to feel it where we want to feel it, okay? Sometimes we get going too fast, especially in the gym. Form goes out the window, and then we're maybe running into problems, or we're just not getting the most out of the exercise that we could be, okay? Perfect. So those are squats. We'll come back to those, and we're going to put them in a little circuit with our next exercise. So our next movement we're going to work on is a lunge. Okay. So we're going to work on primarily a reverse lunge and an isometric lunge hold today. Okay. So you can find a mat or something at home. I'm going to have you start in this half kneeling position here. Okay, so it doesn't matter what leg. My knee is underneath my hip here, and then my ankle is underneath my knee here. So kind of creating roughly 90-degree angles. Okay, so I want you to start down here. We're going to initiate the movement by leaning forward slightly. So I'm getting my chest almost over the top of my knee, and I should feel like whatever leg is up, maybe a stretch in my glute or my hip there, okay? Then from there, I'm going to drive straight down into the ground and lift my body up off the ground, okay? So to start with, we're gonna start at the bottom of our lunge, and then we'll kind of put it all together, okay? So to start, 90-90 here. We're leaning forward, chest over my knee. We're gonna lift that bottom knee off of the ground about 1 inch, and we're gonna pause there and hold for 5 seconds. Ready? So we're leaning forward, driving down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Perfect. We'll stay on that side. Reset. Leaning forward, push straight down and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Good. Switch legs. Toes are tucked in the back, nice and tall with the chest. We're going to lean forward again. So my weight is primarily over that front foot. I'm going to drive straight down and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Let's go one more. And up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Perfect. Switch it back. We're going to go one more time. Good. So kind of just want you to feel what it feels like at the bottom of this exercise, bottom of this movement. So that way when we do start moving into the actual exercise, it's a little bit easier to find that bottom position because you're already familiar with it. So again, chest leaning forward over the top of that front knee. Should feel a good stretch in the glute. I'm going to drive straight down and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Good. We'll go one more. Leaning forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Good. Switch it up. Good. Nice and tall. Leaning forward. Driving straight down. And holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's go one more. Ready? Leaning forward and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Perfect. You can go ahead and stand up. Maybe grab a quick drink of water if you need it. All right. So we worked through the bottom position of our lunge. Now we're going to go through and demonstrate what a reverse lunge looks like, and then we'll throw it into our squats and give you a superset with those two exercises. Okay. So I'm going to start with my feet, this time about hip width apart. So if you find your hips straight down are your ankles. Also, my toes are going to be straight forward. They're not out to the side this time. Okay. I'm going to start by kind of shifting my weight to one leg. That'll be my plant foot or my front foot. And then taking a step back. I'm also kind of hinging at the same time. So just like our bottom position there, where I got my chest over the top of my knee and ankle, same idea here. So as soon as I take my step back, I'm kind of leaning forward and then bending the knee, dropping down kind of in that forward lunge or forward lean position. And then I'll step up to center there. So again, keep one leg, the plant leg or the front leg. We'll step back and then step to tall, okay? Working here. So my right leg this time is the plant leg, stepping back, stepping to tall. Okay? So again, looking for those 90-90 at the knees and the hips, down at the bottom. Knee is going to stop about an inch or so away from the ground. I don't want you hitting your knees on the ground, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and try our lunges on your own. I want you to do maybe 2 sets of 5 reps on each leg, okay? So take your time, move through it. I'll do a couple here so you can kind of see. can alternate them if you'd like. Switch them back and forth. Good. Once you got about 5, 2 sets of 5 on each, go ahead and rest. All right. Next thing we got, we're gonna put those two together. So we're gonna go 10 air squats, like we practice. We're not gonna tempo them, so just normal, controlled tempo. And then we're gonna go 10 lunges on each side. I want you to get 3 rounds of that. 10 squats, 10 lunges on one side, 10 lunges on the other side. That's 1 round. 3, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate it. I'll do 1 round for you, and then you can pause it, go ahead and complete the next 2 rounds, okay? So going through your checklist of your squats, 10 reps, nice and controlled. I don't want these to be overly fast. Go at your own tempo. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get yourself set up. We're gonna do 10 reps all on one side, and then we'll switch. Eight, 9, 10. Switch it up right into it. Seven, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Okay, so just like that, I want you to go through 2 more rounds on your own. Go ahead and pause it. I'm not going to do them with you. And then once you're done, go ahead and press play. Perfect. You just finished your 3 rounds, 10 squats, 10 lunges on each side. Next thing we're going to do in our workout is cool down. So we warmed up, we did a little bit of skills, worked on our squats, worked on our lunges, and next we did our workout. Lastly, we're going to go back to the mat, do a little bit of a cool down. So I'm going to have you take a knee. I'm here. Perfect. We're going to do a little stretch for the hip by pushing our knee forward and then rocking back off. So just on and off there, taking a couple deep breaths as you go. So we're just pushing back and forth. Got about 10 or so, switch legs. And 10 and hold, and rest. Perfect. Next one we're gonna do, same idea. We're gonna go ahead and get our heel in alignment with our front knee here. My shoulders are gonna be rotated forward, and then from here, I'm just pushing my knee over my toe. Good, kind of getting a good stretch on the inner thigh. Get about 10. On the 10th one, big long hold, and then come on off. And switch it. So again, shoulders are forward, driving the direction of the knee. Okay, perfect. go one more. We're gonna go onto our hands and knees. We'll kick out a foot, and then we're gonna push back into the hip there. Get about 10 of these. Good. Once you got 10, you can switch it. From here, hands and knees, and then just driving back into my hips. Good. Get about 10 on the last one. Big pause. Breathe through it. Take a couple deep breaths. All right, guys. That wraps it up. We'll go ahead and end there. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. We'll go ahead and have a couple of these every week, highlighting a couple different movements. Again, just kind of sticking to the basics, the foundations. You'll see some more squats, you'll see some more lunges. Next time, we'll go through kind of an upper body tutorial, okay? Thanks for watching, see you next time.